I'm here today with Brian Guadagno, founder of Elements USA, chemical-free sunscreen. Hey Brian, how are you doing today?
Great, Mike. Thanks for having me. Appreciate the opportunity.
So Brian, tell us a little bit about your background.
Well, I've been an ocean lifeguard for about 17 years. In the last 7 or 8 years, I've been an ocean lifeguard captain. I've grown up, I've spent my whole life entirely on the beach.
So how did an ocean lifeguard come to develop a chemical-free sunscreen?
Well, to be honest with you, it first started with a problem. I really wasn't able to find products, sunscreens that I felt were really effective in protecting myself. Specifically, about 3 or 4 years ago, I walked into a spa and there was a UV photo damage machine, and sort of as a bit of a joke, I said, "Oh, let me check this out." And when I put my face in it, I was pretty horrified at what I saw, and what was even more horrifying was the reaction of the operator's face when she saw my picture in the screen. And my whole face was completely damaged, UV damage. It was a positive negative type screen, and my whole face was lit up white with UV damage. At that point, that's when I was really scared, to be honest. I was scared that having a job and a career that I really had a passion for had potentially led me to put myself in a situation where my health was at serious risk. At that point, I started doing a lot of research with regards to sunscreens, and to try to find a product that would protect me better than the protection or the lack of protection that I've gotten over the years. And when I began to do that research, I found a lot of things that made me even more concerned with regards to the sunscreens, how they work, the chemicals that are in them, how effective they are under conditions, and how quickly they break down in sunlight, and just overall safety concerns with regards to the sunscreens. In trying to find a mineral zinc oxide formula or sunscreen that would really best protect myself and my friends and family, and that was really how it started and what was important to me. At that point, being over a year into my research, just trying to find the safe and effective sunscreen, I was really dissatisfied with what I had, what I'd found, what was available to us. So I basically set out on a mission to develop the safest, most effective sunscreen in the world. And that's basically the short version to the question that you asked on what led me to develop a chemical-free sunscreen. Unfortunately, that's not as easy as it sounds. Most of the sunscreens you'll find on the shelves today do say Broadspectrum on them, and some of them very well may be effective Broadspectrum sunscreens. Many of the chemical active ingredients that are used in a great deal of commercial sunscreens have really been called into question with regards to safety as of late. Whether it's the effect they have on our skin and our bodies, or the potential harmful effect they have to our oceans and our reefs. Once I learned all of that information, there was no question in my mind I would never use those products again. Naturally we key in on the SPF number, and a really important thing that everyone needs to understand is the SPF number only correlates to UVB rays. It has no relevance to a product's ability to block UVA radiation. Without using any of the questionable chemical active ingredients, the only way to achieve truly balanced broad spectrum protection is using zinc oxide in the formula. So as far as broad spectrum goes, if someone's looking to use an effective sunscreen that is shying away from the chemical agents that have been called into question, the only way to go is a zinc oxide based sunscreen. You want to make sure that your zinc oxide has at least 18% as the active, and that way you know that you're truly getting balanced broad spectrum protection. What that means, Mike, with your spray specifically, is you may be spraying 3/4 of the necessary amount to get that SPF 65 into the environment, and only getting 25% of that spray on your body. And then what happens is that SPF 60 turns into an SPF 5 or 10 or 12. And again, we're only talking about UVB protection. And the reason why I say 1 ounce per adult body per application is because that is exactly what the controlled testing amount and the controlled testing environment calls for. And it's scaled back to a small amount on a small piece of skin in order to do the testing. So what it boils down to is using less than that specific amount of sunscreen. Again, 1 ounce per adult body per application will result in drastically less protection than what is promised. So there's so many different factors that come into play with trying to take a responsible approach into protecting your skin and protecting the environment. Everything from the different types of rays, the UVA, UVB rays, the type of sunscreen, how it applies, the applicator that comes in the container. There's just so many factors. How liberally you apply the sunscreen. All of these things are going to contribute to how well the sunscreen performs for you. So it's really important to find one that works for you. Do your homework and put the time in. It's well worth it. You know, the life you're going to save is yours, your friends, your families, and it's really time to take a responsible approach.
Thanks a lot for that, Brian. Unfortunately, we have that great Miami weather rolling in. So let's reconvene at another time, get to some more questions, and get some more information out of Brian Guadagno, founder, Raw Elements USA, chemical-free sunscreen. Thanks, Brian.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Mike. I think that sounds like a good idea. We don't want to get this equipment wet.